Let's keep that big corporate story alive. We've got two experts joining in on the show this evening. JJ Rani, who's of course former director at Tata Sons. Kapil Kaul, CEO at South Asia Center for Asia Pacific Aviation, joins in as well. Gentlemen, many thanks for taking time out for us. Mr. Rani, I'd like to start by asking you, this marks the re-entry of sorts with the Tata Group in aviation. What are you making of it?
The Tata Group has been interested in aviation since last 50 years, so to speak. And as you know, Mr. J.R.D. Tata was the pioneer. He had India's license number 1. He ran Air India for many years. Mr. Ratan Tata also had a short stint as a chairman of Air India. And Tatas have always been interested in aviation. However, this latest news that you are giving me, I have not heard about it, is something which I have to go by on your version, so to speak. So Tatas are interested, would be interested, and if the right opportunity comes, I'm sure they will go in.
Well, Kapil, this is really not the Tata Group's first tryst with aviation. Back with the bang, you think?
Well, first of all, AirAsia's announcement for the joint venture is on expected lines. We were aware that AirAsia is looking at making an announcement for an Indian joint venture. So not surprised with AirAsia's entry. As for Tatas are concerned, it's a surprise because this is the second time they will take a part in an Indian low-cost airline purely as a financial investor. One would have expected that they would be a leader in this consortium, but unfortunately, they are again taking a financial investing route. But overall, I would think that we would welcome this joint venture. It looks to be well capitalized, and with AirAsia in the lead. So it's overall very positive for the sector.
But Kapil, what's your sense? What could have prompted the Tatas, according to you, to enter this space again? Could it be the fact that the market now has scope for another player with KFA's exit now imminent?
Well, I would think that the industry dynamics would have improved, but you normally don't enter into the sector based on the short-term outlook. You look at the sector from a long-term perspective, and the fundamentals are in place for Indian aviation to grow for next 2 to 3 decades. The question is of the structural challenges, which Mr. Tata has himself many times reflected in his public opinions, that Indian aviation has most destructive competition. So towards that, we are very surprised. That fact that he has decided Tatas have decided to come to the aviation, but this is a little disappointed that they would be not the leaders in that consortium. But overall, I think the consortium looks well capitalized, and with AirAsia at the lead, which would mean that it would be good for the sector.
Mr. Rani, how do you expect the group to expand their aviation play from being just a significant investor, though, in this JV? Do you see them being a dominant partner, or do you think they might want to be a more dominant partner at some stage?
I'm not privy to what the Tata Group is thinking at this moment of time, but history suggests that Tatas would be interested in aviation because they are the ones who started the entry of aviation into India. Mr. J.R.D. Tata, Mr. Ratan Tata were both very keen to get into the aviation industry. So if the opportunity comes, I think Tata Group will view it fairly. But I am not privy to whatever the discussions are going on at this moment of time.
Kapil, about you, how do you see this sort of changing this sector? Do you think it's going to be, rules of the game are going to be rewritten?
First of all, I'm not very sure that this consortium will get the license, because we have no clarity as far as the new licenses are concerned, and so it's very much possible that they might not get the license to operate. But if they get it, I would think that it will have a very positive impact on the industry structure. It's good for the consumer, good for the entire value chain of aviation. But uncertainty about whether they will get the regulatory approvals remains to be seen.
Mr. Rani, to take a look at, how things stand, AirAsia is an aggressive low-cost carrier. We know that. Kingfisher Airlines, for now, is as good as grounded. The Indian skies have been opened up. What do you suppose really prompted the Tata Group now to look at re-entering aviation?
They have not yet entered it, and I have no independent confirmation that they will. But if the opportunity comes, I'm quite sure that Tatas will respond positively, because it is something that they wanted to do for many, many years.
A couple of final words from you. AirAsia is perceived as an aggressive low-cost carrier. We just had the CEO join us on the phone line as well, indicate that they will play the low-cost card. Should other Indian carriers be concerned as well? Because that's not, in a sense, not great news for the industry.
Well, I would think so. I would think within the cost structure that is available in the Indian domestic airlines, they will try to be the lowest cost producer. I would think that it will be an ultra low cost airline. And that would be what I would think the kind of a model. It not be a hybrid kind of an LCC that we see in the Indian market. You will see an ultra low cost, which is not what we have in the current. We know that there are limitations from a cost point of view, but within those limitations, they will try to be extremely, from a cost perspective, bring the cost structure as much as possible down. And you would see them innovating. They will be big on ancillaries, which is what AirAsia is. They have advantage of having good aircraft price because they have almost 200 Airbuses on order. So overall, I would think that they will be very competitive. But it's not going to be that it is undue concern for other carriers.